Every club.
Every day.
The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Brighton podcast. It's your boy, the Big JG, and I am joined by the man himself, Joe Richardson. Joe, how are we feeling after an emphatic win on the weekend?
Get in. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want to see. I know we played against relegation fodder, but I mean, when you play in games like that, and okay, we were away from home and they're rubbish, but 4-0, no chances created. When we spoke in the preview, we were like, that's what we wanted. We wanted to just dominate and make them have no chances. And that's exactly what we got. So I'm buzzing.
Yeah, an absolutely dominating performance, like you say. And I think we took the last game we played against Southampton so lightly, and we didn't try against them. We didn't turn up with the intensity. That couldn't have been any more different to what we saw on the weekend. I mean, some of the stats: 4 expected goals, and like you say, when you play relegation fodder and teams that are just so below standard, you need and you expect to see emphatic results, and we gave them exactly that. 18 total shots to their 6, 12 shots on target to their 1. 10 big chances created, although 7 big chances missed, but we'll gloss over that part. But they had 0 big chances created, 0 big chances missed, and 1 shot inside the box. I mean, embarrassing from them lot. Genuinely embarrassing from them lot. I don't know what they were doing, but they were not there. I think my Sunday League team could have had a better result against us.
Nah, to be honest, like it's one of those things where it's like when I was speaking to the Southampton guys, they were sort of you could just tell they're like so dejected. Like they obviously are making the most out of it, and fair play to them, but like they sort of was just saying like, how many are you going to beat us by, rather than like what the score's going to be, and like how. Like they are already sort of, their head is looking forward towards the championship and just sort of coming back up afterwards. So I think that it's just like, I know it's obviously quite peak, but I mean, they're obviously going to go down, and it's just a case of the manner in which they go down. It's not going to be good regardless, but they just don't. If they end on 9 points, that's so peak. That is so peak.
I genuinely don't see them getting I'm going to give them 15. Like, I think that's tops what they'll get, which I think, what do we say in our preview?
Probably around the third lowest, yeah.
But, I mean, if they play like that, then they don't even stand a chance of getting 15. I don't know where those 15 are going to come from. I mean, it's the second game in a row where they've been badly beaten. Their goalkeeper has been man of the match, and they've still conceded 4. I mean, that really sums it up for them. It couldn't be a worse performance from them. But I guess on the flip side, an absolutely brilliant performance from us. And we are slowly, like, charging forward. I know we've forgotten about it now. The Forest result was an absolute disaster. But since then, these performances have looked outstanding. It is only 3 performances in a row, but this is what we've wanted to see for some time now.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think I saw a stat about them when they conceded the 3rd. I think it was like the 14th game where they've conceded 3 goals or something stupid like that, like some outrageous stat. And about what you're saying about building on the form, we are really in a position here where we can push for Europa League, 100%. Like we could. I think it would be a hard task, but we could definitely do that. I also see a lot of our fans online on Twitter and that saying like, "Oh, I'd much prefer Conference League over Europa League." Well, I just don't get that. I don't get it. That. It doesn't make sense. You've had a taste of the Europa League just because the team's young. Like you have to also realise that I feel like a lot of players take the Conference League for granted. Unless they win it, I feel like they were saying, "Oh, there's more chance of us winning the Conference League than there is the Europa League." But I mean, if it's there, why play for the Conference League if you can get into the Europa League? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
What's the
I'm not
point?
lying. I don't think English teams should be in the Conference League. I've said it before, haven't I? Like, the standard, Chelsea are in it now. The standard is just so, it's embarrassing. Chelsea are playing their B team against, I was watching on Thursday. It was Shamrock Rovers versus Mulder that I was watching. As like one of the.
Why are you watching that?
I don't,
Gareth,
it
go
was on those
outside more,
TNT
bro.
where
Come
they
on.
switched to other goals. But like that, the Europa League is still winnable. I think the only reason you'd want Conference League is because it would be such an easy trophy to win. I say that, but like if we do get in it and we don't win, feel free to clip that up. And that would be an embarrassing moment. But like Europa League, I fancy our chances in that. The way we're playing at the moment, and how young our team is, and the way they only keep getting better, like we're in a good position to get Europa League and to also compete in Europa League against these other top European clubs.
100%. I think that the one thing about the Europa League is that with the new format, teams don't drop into it anymore, which I don't think they do anyway.
No.
And with that, you have it every now and again where a team sort of has like a couple. Because in the Champions League, in a couple bad games, you could be like really struggling. And then once you get to a point where you're relying on other results, teams like Barca and all that sort of thing can drop into that those Europa League positions, and that's when it sort of starts getting a bit worrying. But you don't really have that anymore. Yes, there's more teams. Also, the games are so random. I don't know how they work it out. It's mental. All it is it's just how can we get as many big games? There has to be like one big game a week almost. Normally the one that they just whack on Amazon. So like I feel like it and I don't feel like Brighton would necessarily have that where they're playing like just these mad teams every week sort of thing. So yeah, I just think you should aim for it and then do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they are. I think England gets 5 Champions League spots this season.
I don't know if it's confirmed.
And then I think at this rate, I think 6th, 7th get Europa League, or maybe even 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So off that point, we are only 3 points behind 6th, 7th, which are Bournemouth and Chelsea. Bournemouth we play tomorrow night. And then Aston Villa, we're only 2 points behind. Newcastle are quite inconsistent. Nottingham Forest, the team that comfortably beat us, they're dropping some results as of late. So, like, it's all to play for. And I think I'm looking forward to the end of the season because the way we're kind of going, I think the big tell and the big game is coming up tomorrow against Bournemouth.
100%. Win that, and then we could be cooking.
Yeah, genuinely. And on that note, we're going to be talking more about the actual performance against Southampton in this next segment and hearing why we're so high on the Seagulls.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out as the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the description to learn more about Zencastr.
And we are back with a daily Brighton podcast. God, what a little funky tune that was.
Can we please get on to Jamie G here for not doing his ad reads, please? It's been so long. He plays a different one every week, honestly.
Don't need to. Everyone else does a better job than me. You know, you got to know when to pass on the baton to better people. I'm just here to talk about the mighty Seagulls, the Albion, and I said it was 4-0, mate. It could have been 6, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Like I said, their best player was Ramsdale. And the amount of good saves he actually made before we got our goal, even like there was a Ruta chance, there was a Minter chance, a couple of those early on, the Mitoma chance,
Yeah,
where a little cross goes wide and he's about 2 yards from goal, it taps it wide. But then we finally did get the breakthrough. It was João Pedro, and woof, sit down,
yeah,
Ramsdale. Sit
yeah.
down, Ramsdale. Yeah, just a little playthrough by Ruta. Those two linking up quite well, and then just a little chip over Ramsdale. What a beauty, Joe.
No, honestly, it's so funny because Ramsdale got put on his ass like 3-4 times in that whole game. I'm pretty sure Mitoma chipped him as well, and then
Yeah,
Minte's cut back and put him on his bum as well, and then he's somehow missed. But
all comes on
yeah,
later.
it was a really good goal. There was just gaps everywhere, and to be fair, João Pedro is a pretty accomplished finisher, so the chip is pretty nasty. And do you know, I think if anyone needs a goal in the team, I think it is him because
Yeah,
he has there's been a lot of questions asked about him. It does definitely seem to be a thing of like, when we say a player's not doing very well, they all of a sudden just start playing well.
yeah.
Especially when I
We
say
should
it.
start.
And
We
I
should continue
literally
doing
said
it.
it. I said it like, I think it might have been in the preview or something like that. And yeah, it's just, I mean, he's got a goal and an assist in this game. And I mean, we need more of that, especially in this run-in, I think.
Hmm. And I think he did get. Well, it depends what stream you watch, but depending on what stream it was, my stream said he got man of the match, so we'll give it to him. But yeah, with the goal and the assist, and it was a very good performance. Like a very good performance, I felt. In terms of like the link up play that he had. Like I'm gonna jump forward to the third goal where Mitoma just runs through on goal, and that was really indicative of like how we played those two goals. You mentioned the gaps were there like basically all game, and it was like the runs from deep they couldn't deal with. So like
No.
that one, Ruta just plays him like Pedro starts deep, Ruta plays him through, and then he's basically in on goal. The Mitoma one, a ball from Adam Webster just gets played, breaks the lines all the way up to João Pedro, who just flicks it on. Mitoma's run from like really deep, and they just gave him acres. Like
Yeah.
the
God of
sea
honor, mate.
parted, and he was
Yeah.
just through. They thought he was Noah. I hope I've got that Bible passage right. Is that right? I need to put that on.
I think so. No, that's Noah's Ark.
Oh no, it's Jesus where the sea parts and he grabs a fish, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I'm
Whitney
not really.
Bless.
Yeah, we
Sorry if you're listening to this. By the way, sorry if you're
Unless
listening
he's going to
to
be like, this guy's an idiot. Doesn't know his holy book, mate.
that.
Yeah, but honestly, the defending from Southampton was so poor. Like, and with Hertzler's like sort of philosophy of attacking, a lot of it is like trying to find the space in the middle, and then when a team just gives you that space all the time, I feel like that's when you see like I feel like we saw what Herzler wants attacking wise because they were letting us just do it. Whereas most of the time you won't probably see it because they sort of know. I'm sure that their manager knew what was going to happen, but then he was just like, "Well, the players aren't really doing anything here, so they're just doing whatever they want. So yeah, they're just going to get punished every time." But yeah, no, it's another really well taken goal. Ramsdale chipped again. Ramsdale relegated again. We love to see it because I actually hate Aaron Ramsdale. So I just think he's such a goon. But no, I think he'd get distracted by like pigeons on the pitch and stuff. So.
Oh, he said that, hasn't he, before?
Oh, did he? Yeah, he did say that. Yeah,
he said he gets distracted easily. That's why he like jives with the fans.
Yeah.
Give him
He's an idiot. Yeah.
But another one, and I said we were going to touch on it. The runs from deep, the Minter miss. Brother, how do you miss that? But that's another one where he's just used his pace to just sprint past. Who was it? Walker Peters. And Walker Peters is no slouch. He's probably one of their quicker players. But he just sprints past him. And then Gomez plays him through, and then the fake shot puts Ramsdale on his ass and also sends Walker Peters flying. But then you really just have to finish that. I'm not gonna lie, use your weak foot. I know you don't, but come on.
Yeah, it's the thing with that is that I don't know if you've seen a clip of him when he was at Feyenoord. There's one clip where he rounds the goalkeeper, and there's another defender, and then he actually cuts back onto his right foot and then walks the ball in. And then, or it might be the opposite way around. So he goes onto his right foot, cuts, and then goes to his left foot, taps it, like walks the ball into the net. And then as he's run off to celebrate, the defender's fuming because he just feels like it's such a disrespect. And then he runs over and pushes him. And like I feel like I was seeing that again. But do you know what? I just really like Minte. I think there's a really, really good player in there.
There is, yeah.
But I also think that he's very raw and he's a little bit of an idiot. But I love him. Honestly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, put that away, big man. You need to do that, honestly. I want to see you slapping a badge and telling us you're going to stay even though you weren't linked to go anywhere.
I mean, it is. I feel like that's like a youthness. Him missing that, it was like very cocky. That's like immaturity, I guess, coming through in his game. And you mentioned I didn't know about the Feyenoord one, but this isn't the Eredivisie, mate. You need to just bury them because Ramsdale did make him look a mug after he very much embarrassed him because Ramsdale got a little finger to it. And then we got to mention the second goal because I've skipped past that one, and it was Ruta pressing, and this is exactly, I've jotted it down. As soon as I watched it, I was like, that was exactly what we didn't do in the first game. We did not hound the defenders. They loved playing out from the back. This was back when they had Russell Martin and they were just basically giving teams goals. And we gave him so much time, so much freedom just to knock it about in the back the last game. And this time, there was so much more intensity and we were onto them and forcing them to play it long. And when they didn't, like this one with Ruta and Aribo getting it stuck under his feet, Ruta just hounded him, got a little nick. Minter's pace got onto the end of it, and then a lovely little cross and a tap in. That's what we should have been doing the last game, and it's good to see that they've actually brought the intensity this time.
Yeah, if there's one player that's going to do it, though, it's Ruta, isn't it? Exactly. I feel like, and also did he take the ball off Joe Aribo, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Aribo wanted a foul. He's literally, I think he's just slipped, to be honest with you. And then it's funny that you said about Minte with the weaker foot because he's actually crossed it on the right hand side with his left foot, and that could have just gone so wrong. But I mean, a player like Ruta will love that in terms of when you press and you win the ball. A lot of the time you're not going to score from it necessarily, but getting your reward and being the one to put it in the back of the net after taking the ball off the pressing high and sort of getting your reward for it will just make him want to press more. And in his post game as well, they interviewed Ruta and they said, is Europe a possibility? And he was smiling and he was like, I believe in my team. So yeah, which I love. I love that. Yeah. Again, another example of Ruta just understanding it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't give me this PR stuff where it's just one game at a time. All that matters is the 3 points here. Well, yeah obviously, but do you know what I mean? Such boring answer. Nothing is going to hurt for you saying, I want us to get into Europe. Obviously, you want to get into Europe, you're a footballer. So I really like him.
Yeah, I mean, he had his day with Aribo because even mentioned it in the early minutes where he just he got the ball, then just drove from the halfway line with Aribo on his shoulder, and they just powered away from him, shrugged him off like he wasn't even there. Then he got into the box, turned him. He was great yet again. There's so many times I can go, what a great performance by Ruta, especially this year, this actual calendar year. Yeah. That's when his performances have really kicked on and he's actually starting to prove himself and why we spent £40 million on him. I guess we might as well touch on the last goal while we're here. Hinchwood, a man that we you especially have been unsure
Yeah,
on
yeah,
of
no, 100%.
what his best asset is. Picked up a goal, which is always good to see. His first
Yeah,
goal since
100%.
September as well.
Yeah, see that. To be fair, it was like just calamitous defending, wasn't it? And it's
Yeah.
just dropped to him, and he just volleyed it into the corner, or whatever, half volley, whatever, into the corner. And like again, it just sort of sums up everything, doesn't it? More desire, which Herzl said in this post match as well. He was just like, we showed more desire to every second ball, every first ball, all that stuff. When that's literally the foundation that you need to build on, is that you need to just have the desire first, and then things will happen afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Like you, when you're winning all your duels, it's not even all your duels, but when you win most of your duels, you're first to every ball, you're hounding constantly. Like it wears teams down, and you will get rewarded for it eventually. And we haven't seen that at all times this season, especially against like sort of lesser opposition. And when we've seen it today, and you could see what that does to a team that is in a bad moment, like having a bad season completely, but like they're not having their way at all. And I mean, every metric here, like every passing metric, even like look, duels, 59 duels won, 54% ground duels won, 64% aerial duels, successful dribbles 67%. Like, do you know what I mean? Like compared to their like 36, 39, 46%. Do you know what I mean? Like it shows, and the result also shows that. So it's literally just class. It's what we wanted, 100%.
Yeah, and I think it's such a good confidence booster as well. Like I know I said that about the FA Cup game against Chelsea. I said that was the confidence booster we needed. But this is just another one where we've shown, at least when we're playing at our best level, look how good we can be, and hopefully that does continue. Into this final segment, we're going to be talking about some of the star players and looking forward.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
And we are back with the Daily Brighton podcast. Joe, hit me. Who was your standout player?
I think I'm actually gonna pick on João Pedro. I feel just because sort of in terms of the narrative of this podcast recently and the continuity of this podcast, I feel like he needed a big game, goal and assist, bit of confidence going into the sort of like last 10 odd games. And I mean, when he's on it, he is a spectacular footballer. He actually just is. He's an immensely talented footballer. And he actually has a bit of everything. Like I said really early on these podcasts, he has a bit of everything. And like he can show that when he shows that, it just he is a sort of a bit of a level above when he's at his best. And I'd also like to shout out Matoma as well, just for these performances. The money that they were asking for Saudi, I think, has gone up and up and up. I think we're at 350 mil right now. And again, playing with confidence, looking like the Matoma of old, and like I feel like all of these players currently, especially the attacking players, are sort of coming into their like form now. And it's in such a good moment for us to come into form now. So yeah, shout out to basically all the attackers.
Yeah. And you touch on Matoma, 5 goals in his last 7, and that is, we were talking about like his output before. I think maybe at the start of the year, saying it's not living up to scratch, and maybe even when he was linked with Saudi, we were saying it's not really up to scratch. He needs to have more output. Finally, we're starting to see it, and we all know that the capability is there. Maybe he just needed the interest from Saudi to bring that out of him, and people doubting if he was actually worth 90 million. jury could still be out for some, but for us, we'll say yes. You know,
Yeah,
and for the
100%.
Brighton fans, he's 90 million to us.
Yeah.
Maybe in your neutral perspective, he isn't, but to what he means to us, probably.
Do you know what I think is a good way of putting it? I think he's worth 90 million in Saudi terms. Because their whole thing is about building a league around the name.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, obviously, spectacular footballer, but 90 million is a mad price tag for almost anyone. Like, it doesn't even matter how good they are at this point. But, like, I feel like Saudi money is decent. If Darwin Núñez, if apparently they offered like 60 mil for Darwin Núñez, then obviously, I don't know what they're smoking out there, but it must be they must think Matoma's the second coming of Christ. So.
But to your original point, I'm also, because I'm glad you went down that road with Pedro, giving him your man of the match, because I was also going to give him my man of the match just because we've pooed on him a little bit as of late. We've said his performances does he even want to be there? His performances haven't been great. He's coming off the bench and like we're seeing flashes here and there, but never a consistent performance. And today, or Saturday, it was like the first time for a while that I saw it all come together and him actually put in a great performance. My other man, since you've taken that one, this could be controversial because he missed so many chances, but Minter.
Yeah,
he was brilliant. So he completed he had the most successful dribbles in the game. And I'm not lying, Kyle Walker-Peters, who I think is one of their better players, couldn't live with him. Like that's why I've picked him as like the man, because I think one of their better players couldn't live with him. His pace, him running at him, and if he does put away his chances, he has a hat trick. And all fair, that is if buts and maybes. Is that the same? If buts and maybes, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
It's hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was brilliant. And then he had 10 touches in the opposition box. He was constantly a threat as well. And just needed to put away some chances. I haven't actually looked at his XG. I probably should because
I think for him, if you roll back to the game against Manchester United, I think second third game of the season, he actually was pony in that game. But every single time he got the ball, he went at Dalot every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. And don't get me wrong, Dalot was really good that game in terms of like stopping him. But like I feel like do you know what? The last thing a Southampton defender needs is just a Donny who you don't really know who's going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Just going at you time and time. It doesn't matter if you tackle him, clamp him, anything. Just going at you and at you and at you all the time. He can go on the outside, he can go on the inside, which is such an underrated trait for a winger because a lot of wingers don't do both. And I think that if he keeps it up and sort of hones it, like sort of refines the edges of his game, then we've got a proper serious player in our hands.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, and can I just get a little mention because I've jotted it down here. Don't want to make my time meaningless, but Adam Webster had the most completed passes of the game, and that is when you know Southampton, you've had an absolute disaster. If Adam Webster has the most completed passes into the game, he also had 9 passes into the final third. I mean, that's when you know you're cooked as a club. I mean, Adam Webster's performed against you.
He's moved like Pirlo.
He was the king of the second assist today. Brilliant. Top performance.
Yeah, on that note, Adam Webster, man.
Hey, shout out Adam Webster. We have crapped on you a lot, but it's good to see that you're actually coming through. Maybe we need to continue so then he doesn't drop these standards. But yeah, that's been everything from us. Our review of Brighton's demolition of Southampton. And we will see you next time.
Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.